So Jesus talking to me, he says, watch out for the yeast of the Pharisees and Herod. So he's trying to give them something deep, saying, watch out for the influence of the religious systems and the political systems. Because a little bit of yeast will spoil the whole. So he's saying, he's warning them, but they're thinking about, oh, we don't have any bread.
Yeah.
You know? So they're just focused on the bad circumstances. And so Jesus is saying, and he's warning them because he's worried about their reasoning. He's saying, you know, all this I've done for you, and now you're still focused on bread. You know, I just fed 5,000 people like a little while ago, and you guys are focused on being hungry. So God is concerned about our thinking process as well. So the fact that if we have a miracle that God does for us, we think of it as, okay, this was a temporary situation or a one-time situation. We don't think of it, okay, this is God's nature. We don't change our process to say this is God's nature.
That's what it is.
So,
wow.
You know, it's like they saw the miracle of Jesus breaking bread. They just saw, you know, feed 5,000 people with a few loaves of bread. Now they're like, oh, but we don't have any bread. What are we gonna do? And Jesus says, beware of the yeast. And oh yeah, see, he's worried about it too. He's like, wait a minute, I just fed 5,000 people. Can't you guys assume I'm talking about something else?
That is so good. That thought right there. It makes me think of also trusting God. You know, like if something comes up that seems impossible or hard, and we're kind of like, you know, there's no way, but it's like God has been faithful all this time, and he's always provided a way out, and he's always, because that's who he is.
Right.
And yet, like, I know I go to that place, but what's going to happen? But it's like, the God that I serve is a trustworthy God, and he's going to be a trustworthy God in all circumstances, right?
Right.
So, yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah, and we focus on the fear.
Yes.
So sometimes, you know, if the enemy causes bad circumstances to happen in our life, he does that so we'll focus on those circumstances. So that we can accuse God or we can blame ourselves. And instead of, you know, focusing on God or what he's done, we just focus on the circumstances. You know, we could have everything going perfect today, and then one bad thing happened. You know, somebody said something at the grocery store, and now you're thinking about the rest of your day. It's like they said something mean to you, and now that's the only thing you can focus on. You know, you just won the lottery earlier today, you got a promotion, somebody gave you a car, but all you can focus on is somebody said something mean. So it's like we're just focusing on the bad circumstances. That's one of the things. Another tactic is disappointment. So when we get broken and disappointed, the enemy knows that he can come in and whisper lies into our hearts. And he can tell us lies about other people and about God. We want to blame God and ourselves. You know, we talked about like if you lose a loved one, if you lose your job, if you have dreams that go unanswered. You know, you wanted to be a ball player, you wanted a spouse, you wanted this. And disappointment, the enemy will use that as a tactic to get in to you. You know, if something horrible happened when you're a child, you're disappointed. You know, so we have the bitterness, we have the unforgiveness, or we have the guilt that'll separate us from God. So
that carries a long time.
Yeah.
Bitterness and forgiveness affects everything, your whole mental process and your health and everything else.
Right. So constantly drawing our attention to that.
Too much of that,
And there's that, I think you said something about it changes our perspective of the people. We start to see it through a lens of everybody's against me or people are going to let me down. So then there's this solitude that you withdraw from people, which is the worst thing you could do during that time, right? You need people in your life during that time.
Right.
But there's that lie that says, well, I can't trust anybody, so I'm just going to
Right.
be on my own.
Right. So in those times of disappointment, we make decisions. You know, I can't trust anybody. Everybody is against me, or I'm not good. I'm not a good person, or I'm dumb. You make a decision, or you label yourself, or you make a decision about other people, or the world is not fair, or men are dogs, or you make a decision and you keep that decision for the rest of your life, and it affects the rest of your life.
Mhm.
And that's yeah, that's something we need to be healed from. That's something that we need to be healed from.